Couple of follow-ups to Slapgate. Jada Pinkett spoke for the first time since the incident. Well, she didn't speak. She Instagrammed because that's what we do now. She simply posted, "This is a season for healing, and I'm here for it." That works.
Okay.
That doesn't rock the boat in any way. No pun intended towards Chris Rock.
No, but it's I'm glad that she said something, but it just feels like a vague booking to the max. Like there just seems to be some veiled message in there. Maybe there isn't, but it just feels like there's some sort of dig at somebody. And I just wish you would be more clear about what it was.
Is it too little given the scope of how this became a global story for 72 hours, basically?
Yeah,
is that part of it, too?
She could have been a little bit... She could have said something a little bit more along the lines of Will Smith, where I wish that Chris Rock would have been more educated about what I've been going through. This is a real thing. It upset me. It upset my husband, that kind of thing. This just feels like she could be making a dig maybe at Will, like for maybe she doesn't agree with how he reacted, or the other way around. I don't know.
Oh, see, I interpreted it as in with her and Will's infidelity back a while ago, like her being like, oh, it's time for healing. He's still not over it. He's still healing, and that's why he reacted the way he did.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe it is way too vague.
Well, and also, I think that wasn't there a chuckle from Will right away after the joke?
Yeah, he laughed at the joke.
So there might be more there in terms of like yesterday. Brandon made the really great point of there was a cutaway before Will went up on stage, and so it was possible that there's one of those like, you gonna do something about it looks, and we don't know how she maybe felt about the initial chuckle. But I totally agree with Brandon that it's like, why are you doing all this vagary? And it almost feels to me like an opportunistic thing of like, let me drag out the suspense so then I could do a Red Table Talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know that's the next episode.
Well, and that was my exact thought when I heard this comment. I was like, for someone who does Red Table Talk and they talk, right? Like for someone who shares so much and is not vague, this is a woman that's not vague.
Right.
I'm like, that's it? Like, I thought there was more. Am I missing something? It just seemed...
Well, now I really think it's brilliant. I mean, that's great. If that's her plan, that ropes
Showbiz, baby.
Ropes everybody back in.
I hate it. I love it.
Maybe they're working on trying to get Chris Rock to come, and then it'll be her, Chris Rock, and Will Smith.
Now.
Right?
Now. And that's when they say, April Fools, we all set this up the whole time.
She's no dummy.
Meanwhile, speaking of dummies, their daughter Willow, who's 21.
Man, God, that girl.
I love her music.
Wow.
Just stop.
I love her music,
To
though.
her Instagram story, a message that read only, quote, "You know who's going through a lot right now? Literally everyone, just be kind," end quote.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
I just can't with her.
So vapid.
I love her progression in her music. Like, she was doing kind of like Club Banger, Whip My Hair Back and Forth back in the day, and I love that she went through her phase where she was doing music that was kind of like this spiritual, otherworldly, Zen type music, and then now it's this fusion of both. And she has this new song out with this other guy whose name I forget, but he's got a beautiful voice, and I've heard a couple of his other songs that are great, but it's called Meet Me at Our Spot, and I just feel like it's such a good song, and I really am excited to see what else she does, because she started her creative career so young.
So I'm not saying someone young cannot be beyond their years. They absolutely can be beyond their years young, and someone young can already have lived a life that people twice their age haven't lived yet, right? I'm not saying any of those things. However, with Willow, she doesn't come across to me as those two things I just mentioned. This is just me.
Wow.
When I'm watching Red Table Talk, she comes across like she just is so enlightened and knows so much more than the old people at the table.
Wow.
I mean, we have just gone so far beyond all of that.
she's
and
so woke.
I know
But she can't
everything.
express it.
No, she can't.
Wow.
She can't get much deeper than that. That's why I'm like, there are those that speak in depth. Queenie is brilliant. She's only 26, right?
So sweet.
And she could speak in terms where you're like, how old are you again? Willow, not so much. You just want to shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
What about his little punk kid's name, Jaden? What about that one, the son?
He tweeted out the night, what was it? This is how we do it?
This is how we do it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
slap. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That wasn't very nice of him to say, but
No.
he also has some cool creative projects. But I do think in terms of the Willow thing, to Don's point, I think that I even listen back. I'll hear best of sometimes, whether it's we're on a day off and I turn my car radio on, or we come in here and they're playing over the speakers the hour before the show starts.
Yeah.
Where I hear myself that first year I was on the air at 23, and it's only been a couple years, but you hear yourself back enough, it makes you mature a little if you let it.
Not me.
And I think I think that that I could definitely understand that. A little bit of a clunky, you don't know how to fully verbalize your point, but you only know the basis of it.
Wow.
She only knows wow.
So maybe that's where she's at. If she's still going through the growing pains of trying to figure out who her voice is
No
in
growing.
these settings where it's meant to talk about, issues in the world or politics or whatever they talk about. I've only watched one episode. The second one would be if they got Chris Rock on. The other one I watched was there was a drama with the Kardashians, and I wanted to get up in that.
In an interview that aired yesterday with Will Smith's mother, Carolyn, she said she was surprised to see what her son did, saying, quote, "That's the first time I've ever seen him go off for the first time in his lifetime. I've never seen him do that." End quote. Carolyn says she has spoken to Will since it happened, told him to get some rest and take a vacation. Motherly advice. The whole family's chiming in.
That would just suck so bad to be that famous. And just think of any one of us. Just think of yourselves and everyone listening. Like, just any outburst you've had. It came and went. It's gone. It's not. You're not famous like Will Smith. It is not on tape for everyone to play. He will heal. Everyone will heal. We will all forget about it. It's what happens. Something else will come along. But this will always be there to be able to look up. Right? Like,
yeah, and so will all of his fame and fortune, and that's the price.
I know.
Right?
It is. It is.